What's going on, people? Good morning. Welcome to the Morning View. Good morning, UV family. As K-Fu says right there, good morning, UV family. Good morning, all, says King. That was maybe no Owen.
No, Owen, yeah.
Owen is right here. He is here. Don't worry about that. And good morning, UV family. Hope everyone is healthy and well from LUV. Yes, good morning. Big up to you. If it's afternoon or nighttime or evening, big up to you as well. Happy Tuesday. We've got a lot to discuss this morning. The back end of yesterday, or even just actually all of yesterday, it was development after development, news after news. Today we're going to be talking about Sir Jim Ratcliffe's interview that he did with the Wall Street Journal, talking about he ain't going to overpay, talking about how you set out the price for a painting or a house, etc., saying that he wants to win things. That's why he would want to buy the club. We're going to talk about what that means. We're going to talk about potentially up to eight bids coming in for Manchester United this week, because it's going to be absolutely mental. We're going to talk about the Glazers staying at Man United and what that would look like. As Carve has told us, do not rule out the Glazers staying at Manchester United Football Club. That is something as well. So listen, we got a lot to. We're going to talk about Scott McTominay potentially going to Newcastle. They want him, and Harry Kane. In crazy revelations with Antonio Conte, he's expected to be sacked any day now. Off the back of that, now the Kane situation has reared its neck of Tottenham's valuation and Harry Kane looking to force a move. But right to the top of the pile. Start at the top. Sir Jim Ratcliffe won't overpay. Owen.
Yeah, so much for, by the way, when a couple of weeks ago, remember Rain sent a thing out to all of the parties, don't do interviews, don't talk publicly. We don't want to have too much conversation going on publicly, but we did say there would be a lot of posturing and get ready, because there's going to be a lot of media stories, a lot of brief, and a lot of people trying to leverage themselves as the best potential bidder, trying to get the best price for themselves as well. And Jim Ratcliffe has had his turn, as Flex said, spoke with the Wall Street Journal. It was also written up extensively in the Telegraph yesterday evening by James Ducker, saying that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has insisted he will not be sucked into paying a stupid price for Manchester United, and says his interest in buying the club is being driven by a desire to win things. Now, to Flex's point, this is the sort of very philosophical mindset of trying to determine the price of Manchester United. He said, quote, "How do you decide the price of a painting? How do you decide the price of a house? It's not related to how much it costs to build or how much it costs to paint. What you don't want to do is pay stupid prices for things, because then you regret it subsequently." Basically saying, look, and I don't really know what the very, very abstract. How do you determine the price of a painting? How do you determine the price of a house? Price of a house.
It was like Eric Cantona sitting down after he kicked the fan.
You get someone to value it. You get someone to value it is what you do. That's how you determine the price of a painting or a house. You get someone to have a look around and goes, no, I think it's going to be about this. Same thing with a club. He continues by saying, our interest in the club would be purely in winning things. He also said he regards United as a community asset rather than a financial one. He admitted the pursuit of United was different to many of his other business investments. That, in a sense, goes without saying, because sport is emotional. Detailed bids could be sent to the Rain Group, the merchant bank running the process on behalf of the Glazers, as early as Wednesday. So basically tomorrow, which we're going to get into it a little bit later on, is when all of these bids could be coming in. But essentially what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is saying there is that it's basically in line what the Qatari bid and delegation had said previously. We're not going to overpay. We want to get a fair price. But now that's kind of changed a little bit from the Qatari point of view, because according to Carve, they are now willing to overpay for Manchester United. So it's a bit of a contrast at this point. But what did you think, Flex, when you first heard that, when you heard Sir Jim was maybe quoting to certain media outlets that he wasn't willing to overpay? And to be honest, how do you determine the price of a house or a painting, Fleck?
get the valuations in, get it
Exactly.
valuated in,
Get
like,
someone comes
100%.
up, has a look
Call a
around.
surveyor, have a look
Yeah.
at the foundations,
Yeah.
give it a little. Yeah, that looks okay, right?
Yeah.
Shake the wall, give it a knock, find out
Get
about
someone familiar with
cavitation, up in the
paintings. They have a look.
loft.
They have a look
Yeah.
around. Go on Bargain Hunt. You've seen
Yeah.
it on Bargain Hunt all the time. They have a look around. They look at the frame. They go,
1976.
Is this? They go, this signature's real. Oh, I think that's worth $5,000. They go, oh, very nice.
And they go, on Bargain Hunt or whichever one it is. They go, I goes, right. So I'll give you a 20, 40, 60,
Oh
80.
yeah. That's
And you got somebody
Dickinson's real deal. That's Dickinson's real deal. Is when it gets out like that. They get the 20 out. I'm going to give you 20, and it's a pause. He goes, and then a 40, and then 60, and then
I think you could do a bit better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So they go 60, and then David Dickinson comes around the corner. He goes, whoa. I think, to be honest, guys, he could probably go a bit higher. And they go, okay. And then about 5 seconds later, go, I think you can go a bit higher. And he goes, well, now that you're pushing me a little bit, I'll give you 100, 120. You go, what am I watching here? Daytime television.
Absolutely mental. So you can tell what me and Owen have to do at around 2-3 p.m. here in UK, which is watch boring. Because then you get into Pointless and The Chase, etc.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are way off topic. But to answer your question, it felt a bit like that. That is what you do when you want to value something. However, I saw it as this. I saw it as very interesting because he's gone public with that. They're quotes from him. To actually say that disgrace Jim KG, to say that he doesn't, it's probably him as well. It's the worst thing. To say that he doesn't want to do that publicly, and then literally in complete contrast, you get the Qatari saying, well, through Kave or what he's hearing or the noises he's hearing, what he's being told, is that they will overpay. They will do whatever it takes. I just felt that it would tilt the pendulum in favor of all the fans that want the Qatari ownership. You know, to hear the buzzwords of they will overpay, they will just get whatever it is, they'll pay whatever it is after that initial visit, because like you said, Kave was saying they won't overpay. So it was music to people's ears who want the Qataris in, that they would overpay. And it's going to be music to their ears to hear that he basically has a threshold. He has a limit. He has financial constraints, whether that's his choice or not. He has a point of which he won't go over. However, it also can be deemed, and we can't just look at it all for the positive side of if you want Qataris in. You got to look at it from the other side of it, of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's leveling position as well, and leverage position, because it's a point where he's saying, listen, it's all financial posturing, isn't it? It's all business posturing between very wealthy people, but essentially it is black and white. I want to sell these AirPods. You want to buy them from me. I want the highest price from you.
I'll
Owen,
give you 20,
these AirPods.
40.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm like, listen, don't rule out me just keeping these actually and upgrading them, because I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't you rule it out. Then there's you saying, listen, I do want them AirPods for you, but I ain't gonna pay stupid money. I'll just keep these, what I've got in now, the ones that don't work. I'll just keep them. There's leveraging, and that happens whether you're buying a car, it happens whether you're buying stuff on eBay, it happens whether you're buying stuff on Depop, it happens in anything. In trainers. I'll send a message, I'll send an offer to someone, say, I'll give you this. They send one back saying, do that. And sometimes I do message, I'll say, well, do you know what? It's all right.
I'll walk away.
They go, oh, actually, could you do this? All right. It's what happens. It's what happens.
Yeah. I think it's quite interesting, because I said this the other day, that the moment that the news or the word from Sheikh Jassim's representatives was that they were willing to overpay, I mean, all the other people involved, and there look to be quite a few people involved that we don't know about, some more private bidders, that should be a sort of, we're getting into a bidding war then, because if they're willing to overpay, I mean, not a lot, if any, are going to be able to match that kind of price. And I know that kind of Ineos's tactics have been more to maybe tug on the heartstrings a little bit more when they're talking about, you know, put the Manchester back in Manchester United. And he said that he was going to go there, you know, himself, actually go to Old Trafford and Carrington as a bit more of a personal touch. And in that interview just there, he could use it as a community asset as well. The issue is with that is that the Glazers could care less about tugging on the heartstrings, could care less about sentiment. could care less about, what's in the best interest of Manchester United, what's in the best future interest of the club, the fans, the wider community. They don't care. It's almost pointless, to be honest, to try and tug on the heartstrings of the Glazers, because all they really care about is money. And they're probably looking at this. Once they heard, again, that Sheikh Jassim was willing to overpay, they just sat back and went, that's what we wanted. They had a $6 billion asking price. I don't know if they're still going to get that, but the narrative is at the moment that they're probably going to get a bit closer, initially. And remember that first deadline,
because the second bid's coming in. Second bid can't be the same as the first, so
exactly that. Well, and also as well, that first deadline, it wasn't really a bid. That was kind of like, remember, it was a couple of paragraphs. It was, this is what we're thinking of doing. This is what we'd be roughly willing to pay. It's not a concrete bid. This might be the second time where it's a big, a big bid, or a bigger, more concrete bid. And then, to be honest, after that, we get into a situation where it's, are we going to have another round of bids? Or if, let's say, the Qatari bid is so big and so close to what they're looking for, they might then enter a period of exclusivity, and maybe they might try and negotiate to the price that they're looking for. But when I think some people's reactions were last night that when they're saying, when Ratcliffe's saying, I'm not willing to overpay, the issue then becomes, well, there are people involved in this race that are. So if you're not, someone else will. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, 100%. Big up all the mods logging in. Ed, who's one of our mods, says, I forgot to like. I'm a disgrace. Please do smash a like on the video. We're just under 1,000 watching. I'm sure we'll get to 1,000 watching very soon. And we are at 118 likes. So I'm sure the UV community can do a lot better than that. So big up to you guys, everyone just coming in, getting your coffees, getting your teas, getting your Weetabix, whatever you have, whatever you do in the morning. Big up to you. And please do subscribe. We are so close to 138k as well. Please do subscribe to the channel. Pushing for that 138k on the road to 150. Road to 150, that's what we're on. I just think it's a big statement. It is interesting that it isn't hearsay as well with this one. That's what is interesting. Like the Carve one, we got to take his word for it. Obviously, that what he's being told and the noises he's hearing.
You're loving that Carve
sounds
this morning.
Oh, Carve! because Carve, he's just. I just think
it's addictive. If you start doing it, you might get stuck in it. That's the problem.
I can see why he talks like that.
Yeah, you can. I mean, Manchester United are exploring options. Sheikh Jassim is now willing to overspend for Manchester United and look towards the $6 billion asking price set by the Glazer family. Back to studio.
But you know what else as well? What he does well is that actually he picks up the pace a bit in between as well. He does. He doesn't, because I listened to him yesterday. He doesn't talk all slow. It's just that we focus on those bits, because when he emphasizes, that's when he slows down for the juicy bit.
Yeah, because he'll go like this. He'll go like, well, the information I'm getting is Manchester United.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, to be fair to him, clearly he's doing something right, because we all stand up, take notice, and listen exactly what he's saying on a knife edge of like, yeah, go on, and yeah, and yeah, and then so. Big up Carve. Hopefully one day we get him on the channel. That'll be brilliant.
I hope so.
Big up Carve. What was I even saying? Oh yeah, we're hearing we're hearing this. The amount of times we go off topic. We're hearing this straight from the horse's mouth. This is a direct quote. This is a direct interview. He didn't have to give that interview. And remember, like you said, it wasn't too long ago that the Glazers were putting things out to say basically, don't go public with stuff. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. And between Sheikh Jassim getting messages out one way or another and Sir Jim Ratcliffe going public and saying I won't overpay, it's really interesting to see. My personal opinion as Flex, I think it's important to state that I don't think he can compete with them. I don't. I do think that there is a threshold, there is a ceiling that he can't go above. There's a ceiling that he can reach, and I think he reaches his ceiling way quicker than the Qataris. It's whether or not the Glazers, give in. But for me, I think if the Glazers are going to sell the club, personally, with how I've kind of assessed everything over the last few weeks, I don't think they choose to sell to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, because I believe that the Qataris will offer more. And I know the Glazers are very greedy and want the most money. And not even just because they're greedy. Mm-hmm. Any person selling any form of thing would want the maximum for it. So I think they will sell to them. And me and you were talking about this, Owen, about the Glazers, and we can bring it, we can talk about that. About the Glazers' kind of alternative interest after the sale and the relationship that they could potentially have with the Qataris going forward would be really lucrative to them.
Yeah, it was something I was talking about the other day here that, the Glazers, for as much as we don't like them and how hated they are, and justifiably so and rightfully so, but they're not bad businessmen. Look at what they've done, right? They bought a football club, or their family purchased a football club on leverage debt in a method that's really not going to be allowed. I don't even know if there's laws against it now, but you can't do it anymore. Yeah. You can't do it anymore. And for years and years and years, they've profited off that by taking dividends and money out the club. So they've benefited themselves over the years and years and years. Bear in mind, they purchased the club based on leverage debt, and they're going to sell the club for £6 billion. And in terms of the most frustrating thing out of all of this is that it's a business model that worked. It worked for them. It's going to profit them massively. And also, if they're wise, they can make it profit for them way further on in the future, because we know, and just because this is always one of the conversation, isn't it, about sort of state ownership and state investment, sort of wider than football, is that there is a Middle Eastern investment in a whole plethora of big businesses, big corporations, multi-billion-pound organizations around the globe. And if the Glazers were smart, and they probably are thinking a little bit ahead, they will probably think, actually, if we play nice with, this Qatari entity here, then in the future, when we've got our shopping centers, when we've got our hotels, when we've got our other interests, other ventures, and we need a little bit of, investment, or we're looking to have another joint venture, maybe we give them a call, or maybe they can put us in touch with someone that can help us out as well. And I'm sure that'll be a consideration of it. I mean, ultimately, I think the most important thing to them will be how much money. And again, I think that with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, if he's saying that he's not going to overpay, or there's, like you said, a ceiling, then it almost automatically rules him out, really, doesn't it? Because he can't go as high as other people will go into. And the Glazers, according to Carvey and other reports, they're only willing to sell. They're way more open to selling than people thought they were, but they'll still only sell if the price is right. And Ratcliffe is basically saying that price isn't right for him. Well, if the price isn't right for the Glazers and the price isn't right for Ratcliffe, then that's no deal. That's not going to work, is it? So
it's not, and that's why I think it does look unlikely. But watch this space. Watch this space on that. We are getting developments all the time. We are getting developments every day, and I think it's Wednesday, isn't it? I think was the day that the
Wednesday tomorrow, yeah.
So keep an eye on that. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're going to keep it moving because I know we've got so much to talk about today. 8 takeover bids.
Yes, so this kind of
up to.
Yeah, so this kind of sort of merges two stories together as well. This comes to, as Flex was talking about, that sort of Wednesday deadline, I guess, for new bids, but also the possibility that the Glazers could stay. Now, Carvey tweeted last night, or rather this morning, but also he reported last night too, saying that more than 5 bids will be made for Manchester United before Wednesday evening's deadline for second offers. There could be as many as 8. The Glazer family will sell, but only for the right price. If they don't get the asking price, they'll raise capital to invest in the club and pay down debt. Hold that thought on that last bit there. There's no favourite to buy Manchester United at the moment, based on the level of first-round bids. Sheikh Jassim's team and Sir Jim Ratcliffe are not the only bidders who have visited United in the past 2 weeks. More bidders are likely to visit Old Trafford and Carrington next week. He also said, I've been told not to discount the Glazers keeping control of United by agreeing a minority deal. With team performance improving and a new strategy in place, there is a real upside in the business plan. Selling United would not be an easy decision. The club will only be sold, as I mentioned, for the right price. So a couple of different bits to sort of take there. First of all, that 5 bids, potentially 8, could be in by Wednesday is a big deal. But also that whole, not circus, but lots of people are taking pictures and talking about Sheikh Jassim's representatives were at Old Trafford and Carrington last week. And then the day after, there was Sir Jim Ratcliffe and, he's at Carrington, he's at Old Trafford. And there's plenty of others. They've visited too. And they're going to be visiting over the next couple of weeks too. So this isn't a 2-horse race, put it that way. It could be a 5, maybe even 8-horse race.
Yeah, I think that's mad, that, isn't it? Because really, publicly, the ones that are generating the most interest and coverage / scrutiny and media attention is Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Qataris and Sheikh Jassim. But then you got the Elliott hedge fund who were trying to do the minority thing. So that classes as one of the takeover bids to enable the Glazers to stay. But you think, who are these other people? We just literally haven't heard anything. Like nothing. Like someone from America, we have, like China or, someone else in America, like a Todd Bowley situation, because I know Elliott want the minority thing, but there could be a US firm or consortium that would do like what Todd Bowley done and does want to buy out the whole lot. Because if there's more bids expected, it's crazy that we've not heard anything about it, and the media either have chosen to focus just on these two plus the Elliott hedge fund, and all the others have remained so silent and so diligent and stuck completely to the rules, or maybe aren't as whole profile, that no one's really knocking the door to see who they are and what it could be. I think Wednesday's going to be interesting to see concrete who there is, because I think I think Carve's being very, again, to go back to him, he's being very sensible in how he's reporting this, because when he gets the exclusives or the strong lines, he goes with it, but he also always puts out the exercise for caution of there are no front runners currently. We can make our own minds up about how we feel versus what we've heard. But he always reiterates there's no front runners, and actually there's way more people to actually bid. It's not, this is not, and do not rule out the Glazers, which we'll get to, do not rule out the Glazers staying, which we actually will get onto now, because there was 8 bids. But also one of the potential situations, which we've known for a while, is that the Glazers could stay. And there was a little bit more on that, that was pushed forward yesterday.
Yeah, well, and that was just the part that, again, if the Glazers do not reach that asking price, or they don't feel like that asking price is met, they'll raise capital and invest in the club and pay down that debt. Which, to be honest,
they would do that? Do you think they'll
again,
do that?
I raised my eyebrow,
bit, but just actually stay and do all that, go through it all again.
Well, I think if they could get the right investment that they were looking for, then I don't think that would be completely off the table. But again, I feel like that's I think that's a leveraging position. I mean, they've been very firm, haven't they, from the beginning? They want 6 billion. They want 6 billion. And the initial reaction was, at least from these public entities, that was kind of scoffed at, wasn't it? Even by Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, 6 billion. It ain't worth 6 billion. No chance. No, we're not doing 6 billion. We'll give you 4. We'll give you 4.5. And then, by all accounts, the meetings last week weren't so much, these potential bidders pitching themselves to Manchester United and Reign. It was the other way around. It was Manchester United and Reign pitching themselves to these bidders, explaining to them how they've come up with this 6 billion figure. This is why it's worth 6 billion. You don't understand. You had a look at some of the financial accounts, all that kind of stuff, but it's Manchester United. We've got 1 billion fans around the world. Think of how much you could make. It's not just about what it's worth now. It's what it could be worth if someone has it in the right hand, all that kind of stuff. So I still think that's kind of leveraging, because you would argue so far, again, it has worked for the Glazers because they're closer to that 6 billion figure than they were a few weeks ago. And this is the difficult thing with this too, is you speak about Carve being sensible with his reporting, but just as much as he says there are no favourites, we have heard reports from other credible outlets to say that there are favourites and there are front runners. I think it was Jamie Jackson from The Guardian said Qatar are seen as the front runners in the Glazers' eyes, and that would be the most important eyes in this deal. So there is a lot of conflicting information going on right now, and my initial sort of feeling says this is only going to get worse. This is going to be a very, very intense, 2 or 3 weeks. I feel like a lot of people, again, jockeying for position, trying to get to the top of the pile, trying to get, fan favor on their side. Not that, again, it really, truly matters too much in the Glazers' eyes, but trying to get themselves the best deal. But again, it is interesting to think, isn't it? Certainly that actually, I tell you what, when it comes to, there might be 8 bids, and maybe the reason why we only know about 3, or at least the 2 big ones, is because maybe they're the only 2 full takeover bids. Maybe the rest are minority. Maybe the rest are sort of, some minority investment and what have you. But it certainly is absolutely fascinating. But even, I don't know about you, last night when I was seeing all of this come through, I just thought this is quite overwhelming. This is a lot of information.
Of course, because a lot of it is dead rubber. A lot of it, a lot of noise, like transfers, like any news, like any big situation that's happening, and when it's reported in the media. It'll be interesting if once this is completed, with whatever the outcome of this is, Imagine we sift through all of the kind of related articles in and around that 6 months, and you went through it, knowing where you ended up with either the Glazers staying, hopefully, God no, to new owners, etc. If you went through all the different things, you'd find all the articles that says Glazers say they will stay, Glazers will do this, and you think, well, that's a load of bollocks. They sold it in the end.
Yeah, it's rubbish. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It just the same way. If we look back through the Frankie De Jong situation, when it was like, oh Man United front runners agreed, fee agreed, all it, whatever it is. Like you look back, you think, well, that's a load of bollocks. Then it was Man United won't pay this for Anthony. Then you fast forward and you think, well, bloody hell, they did. So it is overwhelming. Is a good word. Just quickly, Shine Francis says, when is the full view? Red card. There was no full view yesterday, and I know you guys loved that show. Unfortunately, we've had to stop doing it. There will be no more full view ever. So
I didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah. So let us know if you think we should bring it back. It's something that we just thought, I don't know, it wasn't really working. Didn't think you guys enjoyed it. So let us know. Maybe put something in the comments there if we should bring it back or not. But yeah. There is
it's just there's lots of shows on the schedule, and you feel like, how do we get the most popular shows in the right positions? And that was the thing with the full view, wasn't it? Is that was it really working? Did people really like it? So
yeah. But I can see a few people going absolutely crazy straight away. So just to let you know, it's not April Fool's actually.
No, it's not. It's March
21st. I just wanted to do it, like Joe Blackman says there. Don't piss me off.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just lie.
He's joking. To be fair, if you watch the video that I did last night at 6, I said, as you can tell, this is not the full view. It's a full view of myself, but it's not a full view. I did say that there were maybe some surprises, it's fair to say, coming over the next few weeks.
Yes, no, I can reveal. Yes, there will be a different format of the full view coming up just for this international break, which you guys are going to absolutely love. We filmed some stuff yesterday. Owen hasn't even seen it yet. Actually, I haven't even told him. Honestly, some really, really good discussions and good get-together. So the full view is coming. Today, we've got Flexing KG live at 6 p.m. So
is it live?
It's live. I know with our schedules, and especially because KG is really busy as well. Obviously, we record it during the day and then it goes out. We kind of catch up about the week, so it's fine. Doesn't have to be live. But I know you guys do enjoy the live. So we got Flexing KG live today at 6. And then after that, for the rest of the week, you've got some interesting full view situations going on. I'll leave it there. Yeah. You'll have to see. And again, I forgot what we was actually talking about. Yes, the Glazers can stay. Yeah. But basically, we don't know what's going to happen is what we're saying. And there's so many different reports that are saying so many different things. But I just think there is a reason why Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Qataris are getting the most,
what do you think?
Spotlight.
What do you think tomorrow's going to look like? Because again, we're going to, because if it Wednesday evening deadline. Do you think it's going to be like the first deadline? Do you remember when that first deadline came out? There were press releases. There was, from Sheikh Jassim, from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and that kind of stuff. Are we going to see that, but on a bigger scale? Are we going to see an even more, huge amount of information? What kind of numbers do you think we're going to see? I mean, tomorrow evening is going to be quite a busy night, I think. Actually, we haven't really prepared for.
Just as you were saying, I'm like, so when's this deadline then?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, we always get shit done here on United View one way or another. You lot know that we do.
Even if you just realise live on the air going about that schedule.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you lot don't worry about that. You let me worry about that. Yeah, you let us worry about that. And what I love about the United View is that we just wing it as we go along. We're a small channel. We are a baby. We haven't even had our second birthday yet, which will be in July, actually. So yeah, bit off topic again, but how far we've come in such a short space of time.
Oh, it's June.
Yeah. No, I think it's July. Or was it 19th?
I feel like it's.
Oh yeah, it's June. But yeah, sorry, June. Well, anyway, in June.
My United View birthday is in July. At some point in July. That's
right.
That's
okay,
how I know.
Started in June. But yes, exactly. So we will get that content to you. Don't you worry about that. And And super chat from PS says, can I make a request? Cam is mint on Tactical View, but can he also do some analysis on our targets, Kane, Osimhen, Ramos, etc., and how they will fit? Done. Done, PS. Done.
Power to the people.
Cam doesn't know it yet. I haven't
No.
called him to say that's what he's going to do. But absolutely. And actually, that was another idea that we had about some reviews of different players, etc., about looking at them in general, like just in the general,
Well,
not
yeah,
just Cam doing it, but in general.
The scout's a very difficult man to pin down.
Exactly.
You know, he's got a very high asking price. You know, he can only do sort of rare appearances. Speaking of the scout, someone that, you know, looks a lot like him, KG is here. Not the same person, completely different person, but KG's in.
Person.
Yeah,
he is in. He is in. So yes, please smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Plenty coming for you this week that you lot are going to absolutely enjoy. So I think
you didn't answer my question.
There, oh, what was it?
My question was,
what I think is going to happen this week. Oh yeah, that was it.
Tomorrow.
So,
and prices. How high do you think people are going to go?
What will happen is this, in my opinion, we will get reports and news of the official second bids, and I think it will go up to 5 and a bit billion.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think Sheikh Jassim will go to 5 and a bit billion. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe will go up a bit from whatever his was. Well, they did say like he was 4.5.
It was 4.5, but there was a feeling he was going to put a second bid in. And to your point, you don't really put a second bid in of exactly the same. You do go up a little bit. So I think
it's got to be up a bit. Yeah. So I think they both. To cut a long story short, I think they both go up. I think we get another bidder that we didn't know. Yeah. I just got a feeling. Don't know why. I just got a feeling. I think we'll get another bidder we don't know, and I think we will also get a little bit more on the hedge fund settings from Elliot. What does that look like?
Yeah, that's true. My feeling is we'll get 5 from Sir Jim and Ineos. My feeling also is that from Sheikh Jassim, I think we can get 6. I think we can get 5.5. I think it could be a 5.5, and then there could be a period of exclusivity where it's like, okay, let's thrash out this deal. Let's get this one. Let's see how far we can go. But to your point, given that this is Manchester United, given that it's a takeover race, and given that it's about money, I still wouldn't be shocked if also there's a little bit like, hey, this person we had no idea who we were talking about or anything like that. They come in and it's like, oh, actually, what about this? That could be a potential too. But that's my prediction.
Just really quickly, KG's talking about a new TV show settings. I think he might have a new TV show. I'm not sure, or is he watching a new TV show?
This could be one that he's spoken to me about. That.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, no, he said he's on the train going to a read through.
Right. Okay. So I'm not at liberty to say.
Not at liberty to say.
No.
And also Mina is in the chat somewhere. I saw her. I can't find her, but I just want to big Mina up. Actually, she did a really impressive interview with Tottenham's Dan Juma. Really, call him Villarreal's Dan Juma, because I don't think he's even really played for Spurs. But away from that, a really, really powerful piece on Ramadan and being Muslim as an athlete. Really, really powerful stuff. I think Mina should be really, really proud. We're really proud of her as well for doing that. And she continues to smash it. So everyone drop some love in the comments, some emojis for one of our own doing big things.
She spoke that into existence as well. If you've seen her post, she said, I want to interview Dan Juma, and then she did it. Yeah. Not many people can do that. Not many people do that, have the drive to do that. So she should be incredibly proud of herself. I know, like you said, we all are excellent.
Yes, exactly. Mina says, big up Broski, and obviously our brother as well, on his way to a read through, on his way to smash it and do what he needs to do. He's not organized for a lot of things, and he's late for a lot of things. But one thing that guy is talented, and when it comes to turning up to get some real shit done,
he can learn dialogue quick
lines
as well.
I've rehearsed lines with him before. In Australia, the guy had me on a stairwell. I had to learn lines really quickly, and he was just ready, and he just did it. Big up to KG. Good luck to him.
I've also done it. I've done improv with him, and that is challenging because you have no idea what he's going to say or throw at you, and he gets so over the top. And some of those sketches that we did, I don't know how he cut it down, because one of them he cut it down to like 8 minutes, and we filmed for like a good half hour, and a lot of it was laughter, and a lot of it was I had to cut away because Owen, you were laughing. So he is a unbelievable talent, certainly.
Yeah, he is. And if you want to check out Mina's interview, I know a few people saying, where is it? Where can they find it? It's on Versus. It's on Versus, big outlet, big outlet. So check that out as well. Mina just put that in the chat as well. So yeah, check that out. And super chat here from Joe Blackman says, just want to say big up to VK for always dropping the memberships. VK is always supporting the channel. Always.
He's also done so this morning, Fleck. I don't know if you've seen this.
I haven't seen it.
You've
I
seen
haven't
this.
seen it.
10,
I've just seen it now.
10,
wow.
10, count them,
There you
10. United View memberships to Makish, to Pyramid, to Resmond, to Nikhil, to MX Chi, to Wayne, to Michael, to Hyana, to, and I think that's it. Oh, no, and Stay Clint as well. Oh, and Skengface.
Wicked. That sounds so funny you saying that. Oh, and Skengface.
And also Skengface.
Owen. Owen, you are honestly, you're brilliant without even doing anything. Because I know you have you just like, oh, that guy's name's Skengface. That's just, but like Skeng is like, I mean, it's another word for a firearm. Is the best way to describe that this morning. But it's it's an interesting name. But the way you just and Skengface.
Yeah.
Like loves that AUV says big up, yeah, cultural differences, big up Skengface as well. Fleck, don't tell Owen what a skeng it too late.
Well, KG's also tried to explain some words to me before, and that's not gone very well either.
But Owen, I will tell you this from cultural appreciation moment, right? It can be, although I said it's something negative, it can be like flipped the other way. So like you can be a skeng man, and a real skeng man, like a skepta, it's like you're just a G, like you're just a really good guy. You're just skeng man.
Let me have a Google. Let me Google search this. I had to Google what KG was talking about. What's it called? Egg bread? Egg bread? Whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's an African. Yeah,
not a clue.
Yeah, but I'm Caribbean, so I don't know loads about that. But you might have to go to Urban Dictionary. I don't know.
I know. I've just put it in. It just says a weapon.
Yeah. So in the grime scene, to just kind of let you know, I'm an original skeng man. I'm a skeng man. Like, it can be used as a positive as well.
But isn't that funny? Like, again, if I was face to face with someone and they were saying that to me, I'd be like, I have no idea.
No idea. It would just go over your head. Like, that's how innocent that was. And there's another one just here. And Mr. Skengface.
Yeah, moving on. And Skengface. Yes, welcome. Come on in.
Oh, mate. Mina says Owen is a skeng man. But there you go. That is what we love here at the UV. We just embrace everything. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Talking about embracing everything, we would like to embrace some more likes because we're having a great time. Everyone's getting involved with gifting memberships. It is dope as hell. We've got 1,300 people watching, and we're not even at 500 likes. Can we get a couple of hundred likes just in the door there? 500 would be sick, and then we can go from there as well. On to the next, because whilst all that stuff was happening. All of the stuff about the takeover, all the stuff about the Glazers staying, all the stuff about Sir Jim Ratcliffe will not overpay. Conte and Spurs and Kane were just in the background because Conte was on a madness on the weekend. And in and amongst that, off the back end of away from Conte, the Harry Kane thing popped up. And the news was losing.
Yes, so this came from yesterday from Paul Hurst from the Times, as well as Gary Jacobs, saying that Tottenham will demand £100 million to sign Harry Kane to Manchester United this summer. It was also said that £100 million would have to be upfront, one payment, no Chelsea amortization or anything like that. 100 million upfront, they consider selling him. There was also a follow-up story that I couldn't find, but people were talking about it on social media, saying that basically Harry Kane's had enough and he's going to demand to leave Spurs this summer after another trophyless season. How true that is, I don't know. But it would appear that Spurs have indeed set a price for Harry Kane, and maybe his future was tied down to Antonio Conte. I would also think as well, Flex, that it would also depend on who is going to replace Conte, because as we've seen for the last sort of bunch of managers, whether it was Mourinho, whether it's Conte, if a manager of pedigree comes in, maybe Harry Kane goes, this is the guy. This is the guy that's going to get us the trophies, and okay, I'll stay. But at the same time, with Kane, it's not just about staying for, the next year or so. It's about basically ending his career at Spurs, because as Mina points out, he's got like a year left on his contract. So, big decision to make when it comes to his future. First of all, I suppose, what did you make of the Conte meltdown? And two, what impact do you think it has on Harry Kane possibly coming to United?
The first bit I thought was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Would I want that to happen at my club? Not really. But
it kind of did, though. It kind of did.
Yeah, I know Ralph and Ronaldo had a little, Ralph obviously spoke about nowhere near as aggressive as that. And it was different because he wasn't the permanent manager. And obviously Ronaldo done a tell-all. Probably Ronaldo's one was worse because that was organized chaos where he goes, right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
However, though, a lot of the things he said was right. So it's like, it was one of those things where it's like when you criticize the club, the training facilities, the this, the that, the stadium, it was the same as when I came back 20 years ago, 18 years ago, whenever it was, however long ago, it's the same. And it was just insane from Conte. It was like, I get why he did it, but he wants out. He wants out and he's going to get his wish. Yeah. He just had enough. And then he tried to clarify his comments by saying I wasn't going at the ownership. Yes, you was.
You were. You said they didn't win anything.
You said it. and you said, I won't hide this anymore. Yeah, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Yeah, you make excuses.
They're used to it. They're used to it.
Players.
They're used to it.
Tottenham is this. Tottenham is this. Yeah.
That's the owner.
That was funny when he's like, yeah. It's easy this way. You play. No stress. Yeah, it's easy this way. Yeah, you're making an alibi for the players. It's you go. You keep doing this. Oh, it was insane. And it felt like I don't watch Love Island, but it was like a real Davide situation. He was like, "You are a liar. The players are you a liar?" It was brilliant. It was Davide settings for those who've seen Love Island from last season. It was brilliant. And you know what? Fair play to Conte. This was always going to happen. It was always going to happen. But sorry, just really quickly. Apologies to Tank the Sherman. He says, I'm Italian. Terrible accents, LOL. Sorry. No offense meant to any Italians watching. I was just trying a little, you know what I mean? That's how I heard it in my head.
And then he flew Ryanair. And then I don't know if you saw that. I saw some people trying to criticize him for flying Ryanair. Nothing wrong with that, mate. They go, he's a millionaire and he's flying Ryanair. Save your money.
Honestly, you can't win in this country. If you're a millionaire and then he flipping flies out on a big, massive thing where you don't need to, there's only him on it. Look at showing off. Goes on Ryanair. I remember, Jack Wilshere did that once, I think, going on holiday in Europe. And they were like, oh, Jack Wilshere's on EasyJet. So I love that. I love people who just keep it real, man. I don't need to spend that. Also, if the flight's quicker, if you go and look on Ryanair and it says, oh, you can get to where you're going this quick, or you wait for a private jet that's got to fuel it up, bring it out, and you can't go till tomorrow. Well, you're just going to go Ryanair, isn't it?
And you don't know when he's going to be working again. Save your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I like it. But yes, back to what you're saying. I thought Conte's, it was crazy. He wants out, and there's no way that they can keep him, not after saying all that stuff about the players in the way that he said it. Call out your players, but that's something that has to happen in the dressing room where you want them to respond. If you say, guys, it looks like you don't want to. There were so many ways he could have done that if he wanted to stay, but obviously he doesn't, and we know that. And actually, he was right about everything he said. On the Harry Kane front, I'm very cautious about it because it's in the aftermath of the chaos happening. So it's easy to, if you're the media that covers Spurs in this instance, is it the Telegraph? I think
the Times.
The Times. It's easy to jump off the back of what's happened. Actually, now let's get to Kane. Let's throw him in there.
Yeah.
Get a bit of a story about that. Conte's crumbling. He's off. Harry Kane wants out. Tottenham is burning down. It's easy. The same way when at Man United, when we was having all that negative press last year, leak after leak, what would happen is like Owen always used to say, is to sift for gold. The truth would be somewhere in there, but everything that's been put out isn't always true. And I think that the easy one is Harry Kane, because there's been a lot of talk about it before. You know, literally before this Conte outburst, David Ornstein was reporting that, you know, they're looking to give him a new deal. You know, no decision's been made yet. He wants to stay. And now this Conte thing's happened. All of a sudden, Harry Kane's gone, actually, yeah, I'm off too. I'm done. I don't think it's as easy as that. And then now there's as much thing as a price tag of what Tottenham would be willing to let him go for, which before it was Levy won't entertain it. So I think we have to take that with a bit of pinch of salt there, because I don't think it's as black and white as Conte walks and gets angry and gets sacked. Harry Kane domino effect just goes, this is crap, I want out. Levy sells it. I just don't think it works like that.
Well, and also there is still part of the season to play. So whoever does come in, let's say Conte goes, and let's say they bring in, let's say it's Pochettino, right? Pochettino comes in and they have an amazing end to the season and they qualify for the top 4. He ain't going anywhere. No. It'll stick around probably another year. So there is, and they're still in the race. I know they've got 2 games ahead of everyone, and they're a point behind us, in front of us, whatever. And most likely, I think if everyone wins their games in hand, they could go down to like 7th or something. Even Brighton can go above them. So it doesn't look good for them. But there is still the season to play, and they still could maybe theoretically qualify for the top 4, and that might change things. I don't necessarily think that they will achieve that, but anything's possible. I mean, maybe it would behoove, that's a good word, behoove Manchester United to actually inquire now, because if you're smart, you do go in at the worst, you know, at the moment of weakness and vulnerability, at a time in which Tottenham's a bit in chaos. The manager's screamed at everyone and left, and you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to win a trophy again. Are we going to get in the top 4? Now's when you start making contact with Harry Kane's representatives and say, what about the end of the season then? Yeah, what you think? You're thinking of making a move? Because a deal for Harry Kane does not get done overnight. It takes time. No. Maybe now would be the time to sort of, you know, initiate the contacts, start, you know, seeing how you'd be feeling. I mean, we're talking about Osimhen being an option. He might be unattainable at the end of the season. Let's be honest with how Napoli season could go. They could win Serie A in the Champions League. Suddenly that 120 looks like 150, maybe even more. And people can say, yeah, but we might have Qatari owners by that point. Still, FFP is a real thing for Manchester United over the next 12 to 18 months. So maybe now would be the time, given all the chaos, to have a discussion. 100 million for a 1-year contract seems crazy. To buy someone out of a 1-year contract is nuts, because usually it's a case of when they've got a year left, you buy them and it's a lesser price because they have to sell. I wouldn't even rule out Levy being like, I don't care if he goes on a free next season. Yeah, let's try one more season, see what happens. And maybe if next season we win something, if we win something, maybe he'll stay. Maybe he'll change his mind. One last go at it. I wouldn't even be shocked by that.
It's gonna take for Harry Kane to get out of that. It's gonna take for him to really put his foot down and say, I'm off. You know, super chats. Get these out. Joe Blackman says, just want to say big up for always dropping. Oh, so I read that one already. Flex, teach Owen about fried dumplings and ackee and saltfish.
Well, I've said, and I'm assuming is that like Jamaican food? Is that what
that is Jamaican food?
I've said several times I would love for Fleck to cook me some Jamaican cuisine and taste it, and I will. I will.
Yeah, and you know we will actually do that next time we catch
over
up
the summer. Over the summer,
exactly. We will do that. And All Elite says, would you guys take another year stopgap striker if we could guarantee Kane on a free next year? Kane on a free in capitals. I wouldn't. We need a striker now. There's no. We had a stopgap for too long. Now we need the answer. And just interestingly, this is a very off topic, but I just thought I'd bring it to. George Sampaoli has been sacked as Sevilla coach.
Yes, I saw that. That was yesterday.
Yeah. So he got relieved of his duties actually. So interesting just to see how they will look before they face us. Will they be resurgent with a new manager? Will they be on the way up? You don't know. You can't.
Not surprising though, because again, I mean, Sevilla have been shocking this season, and they're 13th in La Liga, and previously they were like 19th. They were right down at the bottom of the league. It's a miracle he's probably, to be honest, kept his job this long. I think he even replaced someone as well, and they sort of scraped through these Europa League rounds. And also in addition to that, I've seen people go, just before they play United, but it's the international break. Managers always get sacked in the international break. That's when they make the change. So that's not too much of a surprise either. But it might make the game a bit more difficult. Look, we've beaten the best in La Liga this season, so we need to remember that when we face any sides from Spain.
Exactly. Keegan says, shows how well Eric Ten Hag handled Man United issues. Different gravy. on Kane. Keep that guy out of my darn club. Will Smith. Yeah. Do you know what? It's really interesting on this channel because I know a lot of you don't want Harry Kane, don't want to go anywhere near him. And I think me and Owen are and Marcel and maybe a couple of others are in the minority. I accept that 100%. I think the majority of you guys do not want Harry Kane at Man United. I would. Do I want Osimhen? Yes,
of course.
I just think it's really out of the. I just don't think he's attainable. But if we can get him, absolutely. You know, I don't see the hate against Harry Kane. I don't get it. I think he'd be perfect for us personally. But the community is communitying, and they have spoken about this. The last story of today, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We're at 1,400 watching, still not at 500 likes. We're at 374. Come on, guys.
Oh, wow.
We can do it. We can do it. Please hit the like. I know some of you might be watching on TV. So sometimes that's a bit more difficult to get to the like button, etc., etc. But please help us out. We would really, really appreciate you doing that. And there was another super chat just came through there actually from Gemini. It says, invite me to the UV and I'll cook some Jamaican food for you. Love that, Gemini. We have to get Gemini down to UV HQ, cook us up a storm. Well, you a chef or something, Gemini, or you just know how to cook good, or do you work within food or something, or you just can cook up proper things? Let me know. Let me know. The last one, Scott McTominay.
Yes.
Newcastle, question mark.
So this is a story, to be fair, that's been going on since January, hasn't it, when it comes to Eddie Howe's interest in the Man United midfielder. This comes from Luke Edwards, once again from The Telegraph, saying that Newcastle United are looking into a summer move for Manchester United midfielder Scott McTominay. Eddie Howe feels that McTominay has the physical attributes to succeed in his system. United would not consider letting McTominay join Newcastle in January, as they considered them a direct rival for the top four. Newcastle hope that position will have softened in the summer when Ten Hag needs to raise extra funds by selling squad players. McTominay is believed to be very open to the idea of moving to Newcastle and has been impressed by the vast strides the team have made this season. So that interest in McTominay that was there in January, by all accounts, it's very real. And Eddie Howe's going to have another run at him in the summer. And to be honest, Flex, when it comes to, you know, if we do need to raise funds in the summer, McTominay, a Newcastle, which we know they've got money, so we can get a good price, you know, for that academy player. How much do you think we sell him for if we did?
Speaking about this recently, Scott McTominay, I think is that if you was to compile a list of players that we can sell that can make us money, he would be at the top of it with Harry Maguire and Dean Henderson.
Yeah,
we'd be right up there.
You can make good money with all three of them.
You can make. They're like our three, and you could add Martial into that if he's going to go. But he's in that top 5 sort of bracket of players that we can sell and get some decent money for. McTominay, Scottish tax. I was going to say English tax, but you know what I mean. Premier League tax.
Yeah.
Played over. You know, how many games did he play for Man United? He's played
quite a lot.
He played over 200. Would you say?
I mean, he made his debut under Jose, didn't he? So that's a while ago now. So
I wouldn't be surprised if it's back end of the 100. Someone in the chat will know. There you go. There's a bit of trivia. Someone go find out and put it in the chat. How many games has McTominay played for Man United? I think you can get between 30 and 40 million for.
I was going to say 40.
35.
I was going to say 40.
Yeah.
I think we can get 40 for him, 40 for Maguire.
Yeah.
Henderson, to be honest, it hasn't been the best season, so I think it drops down to about a 30. But the problem is he's got quite a lot on his contract, actually, Henderson. So maybe you do get a 40. I'm not sure.
There you go. But, reached 200 during Fulham. There you go. Or 200, 202. So it's around the 200 mark. And that, you know, things like that carry weight in terms of when you look at, you know, we can say at the level that we want, McTominay, he's played away at Barcelona. He's played at PSG. He's played in final. He's played in big games.
Yeah.
I mean, big games for Man United. And he's a very experienced player. So I think, actually, and you know what? To be fair to McTominay, I think he can do all right at Newcastle. I was
just about to say, it's exactly what I was going to say.
Right. I think look at Longstaff, look at Joe Linton, those type of players.
He's suited to that.
It's not win the ball back, go give it to Bruno Guimaraes. You know what I mean? They're going to invest. Maybe like a Maddison will come in as well. he can work for them. He actually could work for them. To the point where, let's not forget, we didn't want to sell him, and rightly so, to them in January because they are a top 4 rival. They are. You know, and I know we shouldn't have a small club mentality of let's not sell him to them at all because Newcastle are going to come for us next season because we're Man United. We should be like, right, we want De Jong level. Right. You know what I mean? We want Bellingham level. So yeah, Newcastle can have Scott McTominay, but he will play. If he went there, he would be effective, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. I think he would fit really well under the Eddie Howe system, like you said, like
or Villa,
like a long staff, that kind of player. More, as he said, as the report says, about physical attributes too. I think he struggles with the Ten Hag system again because we have to keep emphasizing that this team is still not playing the ideal style of football that Ten Hag wants to play. This season's been somewhat of a compromise because he wanted to go really far in the sort of total football direction. We've had to dial it back a little bit. And I don't think McTominay can do that. I mean, we know that the thing that McTominay is not great at, it's his ball control, it's his touch, it's his passing. That's not his game. What his game is good, it's physical, it's getting around the pitch, it's making decent runs forward. Like he can arrive in the box well because he started off as a striker when he was in the academy or something, didn't he? So, and it's his physical presence, and I think he would do well at Newcastle. And ultimately, if we need to sell players on in the summer, he could absolutely be one of the people that actually raises a good bit of money for us. So it'll be interesting. But I understand your point too. You know, I'm not saying that McTominay's going to go to Newcastle and they're going to win the league or anything like that, but I'm sure Manchester City probably regrets letting go Jesus and Zinchenko to Arsenal, you know, and how much it's improved them. You never know what it's going to do to improve them.
Yeah, because in system...
Yeah, I've seen people talking in the last 24 hours about Pereira possibly going to Chelsea and all that kind of stuff. You've seen that in PSG. And then I've seen people going, oh, Man United fans, how does that make you feel? I don't really care because we saw enough. We saw enough of Pereira to know that, okay, fine, no problem. But yeah, no.
And he did play quite well. He did play quite well against us, actually. His delivery was really good. I was really impressed with how he was playing, actually. He gave a couple away that were like Andreas-esque. But other ones, you know, really, he's always been good technically, you know, good technique, good delivery, you know, decent, good striker of the ball, but, you know, decision making and stuff. But sometimes, you know, again, and this isn't me being patronizing or rude, you know, Manchester United is a different beast. To be successful at Man United is not what it is to be successful at Fulham or at Brighton or at Newcastle. And that's not me saying none of their players can play for Man United. I'm not saying like someone like Paulinho can't come Man United and do. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when players sometimes have to go back to go forward and refine themselves, you know, Andreas Pereira maybe might go to Chelsea or PSG. That doesn't mean that he was the right fit for Man United for what we wanted to do. And that doesn't mean that we should have kept him. It doesn't, football's not as easy as that, you know? And actually, I'm actually really happy for Andreas because someone who we got, you know, when they were quite young, come through. We want that, don't we? We want to see them do well, you know? I don't think he left on bad terms. He left because, you know, we needed to move on and we needed better quality. And essentially we did that. But I wish him the best. And actually he played really well. I would say. Wicked show. Good morning show. Really good morning show. There's going to be so much to come. Much to come. Brace yourself for it, especially in the lead up to tomorrow. There's going to be leaks. There's going to be exclusives. There's going to be this. There's going to be journalists breaking stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So buckle up, basically. It's getting to really interesting times regarding the takeover. To remind you guys again, like I said, Flex and KG show live tonight at 6 p.m. And me and Owen will see you back here tomorrow morning live for the morning view. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Have I missed any super chats on the way out? Yes, I have actually. Yes, Joe Blackman says, I want Kane, but for the right price. And Gemini says 45 years of Jamaican and English food, Fleck. Oh, wow. Very experienced, Gemini. Big up yourself. And Shane says, I'm sick of clickbait scaremongering. They will go. Oh, they will go. I'm sick of clickbait scaremongering. They will go, as in they will go. So yes, smash the like on the video on the way out. We are out of here, guys. Take care. Peace.